following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air. So start ignition, count to zero. I just wanna be a superhero. So start ignition, count to zero. I just wanna be a superhero.
What we've seen the past couple rounds in this series has been racing for the ages. 2 races decided on the final lap. Top 4 finishers separated by less than 2 seconds. The contest this season continues. The action today awaits as we welcome you to Lucas Oil Raceway, located in Brownsburg, Indiana, in the United States of America, which hosts the 7th round of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. All coverage today is on your beloved RaceSpotTV, streaming live on the iRacing Esports Network around the 1.26 kilometer, 0.783 mile anti-clockwise layout of Lucas Oil Raceway. 5 corners which require utmost perfection. It's the second time this season we return to Lucas Oil Raceway, and we had an incredibly entertaining race here last time out. The track layout allows for exactly that. Tough first braking zone, difficult entry onto the Joker, convoluted and challenging corners, and a jump section which helps improve the spectacle. Indianapolis Raceway Park has it all. Good afternoon, everybody. Jonathan Simon on hand in the commentary booth alongside Randall Cheneth, Hugo Luis behind the scenes in production. We're currently in qualifying now, coming towards the closing stages. But Randy, the most notable part of Lucas Oil Raceway we found last time out was the start. Get a good jump off the line, get that inside line into turn 1, and some drivers will be hoping to get rid of the Joker lap, something we saw Mitchell de Jong practice here just a few minutes to go.
That's definitely the important aspect here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, is getting that jump off the line and getting down into the Joker on that opening lap, because when everyone's getting bunched up into turn 1, if you have 6-7 cars up above you on the regular oval that are unable to take the Joker, it's the only time you can really you really get any time advantage, because they're all slowing each other down. If you have to do it lap 2, lap 3, it's only about a half-second pickup, so you can't really use the Joker to make passes here the way you can at so many of the other tracks that we have on the Rallycross side of things. But it's a very interesting layout. It's very technical, and you mentioned the importance of the start. You also have, of course, corners number 3 and 4 that you have to roll through, the NASCAR 3 and 4 essentially on the oval. Variable banking there, so those who start on the top actually have a little bit more banking to work with, even though they have a longer trip going around the oval than those who are starting down on the inside have the shorter run. And it's not uncommon to see people up top come out with the lead and the advantage coming down that front straightaway into turn 1 for the first time.
And championship standings we'll hopefully have a look at in just a few moments' time. But there they are on screen, actually. Mitchell de Jong currently on top, 454 points ahead of Joni Heikkinen in second. Now, this is the first time Mitchell de Jong has won a race since round 2 of the championship. So You want to race in round 2. Now on top of the standings. Great momentum for him heading into these next few rounds, Randy. And of course, look at Johan Harth and Garrett Lowe closely followed behind. Garrett Lowe, race winner from round 5. Chep Levski and Josh Fox, 5th and 6th. 2 very good contenders for a race victory here today.
Yeah, they definitely are. And there's some people showing good pace as this qualifying counter gets clicked down straight to 0. So things are going to be really interesting as Joni Heikkinen is going to be pole man, but just not very far behind is going to be Josh Fox, who put in an identical qualifying time, who'll be starting on the pole position for Heat 2. So as the counter counts down, things are about to get pretty crazy.
So time ticking down. Here we go for Heat 1 this event. So should only have 2 heats here today with the field we have. And the Heat 1 grid on screen. Joni Heikkinen, Nathan Lyon, Phil Diaz on your front row, followed by Johan Harth, Cedric Gesmeyer, Bob King, Logan Clampett, Jorn Jens, and Michael Guest. Jorn Jens had an incredible race last time out at Daytona. We'll be hoping to capitalize on that here today. Ready for the lights to illuminate. So this will be 5 laps of action as usual. 1 joker lap available to the drivers. Everyone's taken to the grid.
Now we're still waiting on Joni.
Yeah, Joni Heikkinen, I can't see him either. So
just testing our
also waiting for
patience a
Nathan
little
Lyon
bit.
too.
Making us
This
wait
is
in anticipation.
Yeah, this is a very long wait for the start. Nathan Lyon's taking to the grid. Yes, there's Joni Heikkinen. And finally, a few seconds to start off and kick off round 7 of the championship. We go green from Lucas Oil Raceway. Not a good jump from Joni Heikkinen at all. And look behind. Johan Harth trying to barge his way through. But Heikkinen has track position heading over the main straight for the first time. Still 3 wide alongside each other. But Heikkinen and Harth take to the Joker along with well, that's it. The only 2 drivers to take to the Joker. Perfect start for Johan Harth as well. He may head himself in a P2.
Big incident behind a Coanda car. I believe that's Jorn Jens got involved, as well as Logan Clampett in that 44 Volkswagen, and still some jockeying for position up and down the field as they work themselves in towards the exit of pit road. Well, technically the entrance of pit road here through this dirt segment and then onto this very tight hairpin. Whole field works their way through and comes back onto the oval for the first time.
So across the start-finish straight, this is perfect for Joni Heikkinen. He had pole here last time out in round 2 and didn't get the best of starts and ended up having a DNF for his heat race. So this is what happens here on in. You get a good start, good track advantage. Nathan Lyon and Harth collide. They're both turned around. Oh, goodness, and that's caused chaos behind as well. One of the NX cars now has collected Nathan Lyon in that Nexus Esports Volkswagen, and it's just caused chaos for everybody else. Johan Harth is slow over the jump. You'll see him pop in just there in that race clutch car. Oh, goodness gracious. And what we saw there, Randy, was good tussling for position, but just a little bit too hard in the end.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit too much jostling there. Nathan Lyon still falling down the order. Joni Heikkinen, meanwhile, is out to about a 1 billion-second lead, I think, as he already works his way down back onto the regular road course. Second place is Phil Diaz, 6 seconds back. Cedric Gesmeyer takes up the 3rd position here as these guys continue to work on through, and drama continues to pan out up and down the field.
So at the moment, it says your top 2 will advance, and so far, Joni Heikkinen along with Phil Diaz should make their way through to the feature race from this race in, and that provides good grid position, Randy, as well. But, of course, it's not over yet. Phil Diaz, don't think he's taken to the Joker looking at his lap time, so he still has to take that. It's only a very short Joker Delta lap time, as you can see here, 1 or 2 seconds at the most.
Yeah, I mean, it's only about a second is really what it is. Is Michael Guest going to take to his Joker? He's going to have about a lap and a half left.
Yeah, look at Joni Heikkinen. I mean, it's just blistering pace. 6 to 7 seconds ahead right now. It depends on where the lap times update for the next few laps right now. Over the jump, we follow the driver of Michael Guest there in the number 54. He's had a good season so far in the NX racing car, Logan Clampett, involved in all the drama early on in this event. Still traveling on well in P5. No DNFs from this race, and that's something that has been good to see all season. Is we've seen a couple drivers get a bit too happy in these heats, ended up having a did not finish to their name early. Certainly not something they're looking out for. Clampett will take to the Joker. We're watching Heikkinen on screen. There's the driver of Michael Guest. Oh, Nathan Lyon right behind Logan Clampett. Still alongside each other in this battle. Good little scrap going on right now. Oh, driver off as well. Jorn Jens is off right there in that last place. So we're going to focus, though, on Joni Heikkinen right now. He is your leader, and he will come across the finish line to take Heat 1 victory and advance straight to the feature. Carbon copy? No. Completely different to what happened at round 2 for Joni Heikkinen. This time he makes it straight through to the feature. Phil Diaz comes home in second. He's through as well. Rest of the drivers will head through to the consolation races. So brilliant event so far. And while this all happens, any technical difficulties, by the way, please excuse us. Just trying to sort those out at the moment. But so far we're getting ready for heat number 2 here this time round. There are your results on screen. Heikkinen, great event. Unscathed, not even close. So Phil Diaz joined him there to head straight to the feature race. Your Heat 2 grid will include Josh Fox, who qualified extremely well, Josh Fox. Very close as well to Joni Heikkinen. Mitchell de Jong will join him on the front row. Not a good line for Mitchell de Jong on the inside, on the middle, sorry. Not something he'd probably practice for. Zelensky in third, followed by Shine, Lowe, Chepelevsky, Zadzon, and finally, Thomas Gerstenberg. That's your 8-car field. Here we go. Ready for Heat 2. What a ripper start from Mitchell de Jong. Josh Fox did not get off the line at all. De Jong in the Volkswagen rapid off the line. Fox in the Subaru, ironically, not getting off the line well at all. Look at Julian Shine as well. He's all the way down the back of the pack trying to search for a position. A whole heap of drivers taking to the Joker. 4 of the 8, half the field on the first lap. But again, Mitchell de Jong in the Coanda SimSport car. Incredible start so far.
Yeah, it's been a really, really good start thus far for these guys. They worked their way towards the jump. A little bit of drama. Bobby Zelensky gets caught up in that, and now there is huge, huge pandemonium happening as Bobby's night's pretty much going to come to an end here unless he can run his way through the LCQ.
Oh, de Jong gets a big tap from behind there from Josh Fox. Josh Fox now says, hey, get out of the way, mate. I want the lead back after my poor start. And Josh Fox in the lead. Good stuff from him. There's Mitchell de Jong in second, close behind as well. Chepelevsky, who's a driver this season who's had such such great pace all season, just hasn't come up with a race victory so far. Was only less than 2 seconds off at Daytona last round. Fox and Mitchell first and second. Will Mitchell return the favor here at the hairpin? Nope, not even close. So Mitchell de Jong across the main straight should still advance to the feature race with this position right now. It's the likes of Julian Shine with that good start who will be looking to advance some positions here. He hasn't taken, well, he took to the Joker last lap round actually, so that's good for him so far. He just has to watch out from any driver behind, such as Yorgi Zadzon, who's closely trailing him. Will Yorgi Zadzon try and fight his way through? Zadzon in this fight right now has also taken to the Joker lap. So Yorgi, who's been impressive sometimes this season, been disappointing at others. He's having a good race so far. Not good enough to advance to that final round, but Shine is drifting a little bit too much here and is going a bit too slow for Zadzon liking. Yorgi's going to try and fight his way through anytime soon. Through turn 1 now. Shine out breaks himself, misses the apex, but at a corner and at a track like Lucas Oil Raceway, there's always a place and chance to get away with it through the middle part of the lap. So he started to drop behind a little bit now. So lap 4 or 5, they'll cross the line, your leaders. They're just at the hairpin right now to the right-hand side of the screen. It's hard to see them, but Fox and de Jong will make it straight through. And Josh Fox as well, another driver, along with his teammate Stelian Cheplevsky. The two Fusion Racing teammates there, both finished within 2 seconds of the feature race victory at Daytona. We know that race went down to a drag race between De Jong and Häkkinen. But don't leave these two out. Fox has been impressive today. Great qualifying pace. And only a few corners to go. He'll have incredible, impressive grid position for that final feature race. And we could see him win a feature race for the first time this season in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. Fox will come across the line. He'll advance straight to the feature, as we said, along with Mitchell de Jong, our championship leader. Cheplevsky will miss out, though, but he'll have good grid position for the consolation races. Julian Shine as well. Same can be said for him and the other Fusion Racing car. He made that switch from race clutch to Fusion mid-season, and this so far looks to be his best event so far for his new team. There are the results on screen. Zadzon in the end couldn't get past Julian Shine, who was basically turning this into a drifting event right now. And then they were followed by Gerstenberg, Lowe, and Bobby Zelensky. Zelensky, disappointing round for him, but at least he'll still make it through to that C-main race, which we'll have a look at the grid right now. So your grid there on screen, it will be Gesmeyer on the inside line, followed by Michael Guest on the front row, along with Nathan Lyon in third, Logan Clampett, Bob King, and Johan Harth will round out the grid. 3 drivers will advance to the feature race from this grid. And that will be laps of action again. Engines rev. Ready to race here for the first consolation race. We go green from Lucas Oil Raceway. For any technical issues, but trying our best to sort them out ASAP during these quick and scrappy races of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship. But what a first consolation race we've had so far. Michael Guest in your lead. You can see him on screen right there. And he's taken to the Joker and should find his way straight through to the feature race. I have no idea at the moment how Michael Guest and Nathan Lyon are going to make their way through to this feature race after colliding at the start. And Randy Cheneth, who finally joins us back alongside again. Good to have you back, Randy. It's these two drivers of Guest and Lyon, the two Nexus Esports teammates, collided on the first lap, not even the first turn. And they're still going to make it through to the feature race in the top 2 positions.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when all the other competition in the heat race gets killed. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to them. I think this is the first time we'll see both of them go into the show.
Yeah, Gesmeyer as well, your pole setup will also make it through. DNFs for King and Johan Harth. Johan Harth's day is done yet again as well. Johan Harth hasn't had the best of runs in the World Championship this series for what his pace can really show. Logan Clampett, his day is done as well after flipping over at the start, Randy. What about that?
Yeah, not really ideal, is it? You know, to have your night end like that. We've seen Logan get into some drama, of course, over the course of the season with that sort of stuff. But that was a little bit more flamboyant and over the top.
So your there is also on screen, but your next consolation race will include Cheplevsky, Shine, Zadzon, Gerstenberg, Lowe, Zelensky, and Jens ready to go for another 5 laps of action. We go green for your final consolation race. This time a good start from the Subaru, and Cheplevsky in the Fusion Racing car will make his way straight through. He's trying to be followed along behind by Julian Shine. Shine will be able to take to the Joker on this first lap as well, gaining track position up the inside. There are some of the Fusion Racing teammates almost colliding. One driver into the wall as well. That's Yorgi Zadzon. Just keeps it out of the barriers, but now he's turned around. Jorn Jens trying to find positions around the outside. 3 wide through the middle part of the lap, something I would never see in the lead up to the jump.
Yeah, very, very rare to see that happen as Georgi Zadzon continues to get beaten around. Jorn Jens trying to hook up the outside of this gravel section. Not quite going to work for him as Georgi going to be able to slip around the outside of the hairpin. Should be able to have the momentum. Up top will be Zadzon, and Jorn just going to make that very, very tight as they come off that corner. But for the first lap, Julian Cheplevsky has a nice little gap. Julian Shine technically in second. Garrett Lowe is cycled in to the final transfer spot in third, and Bobby Zelensky is right behind him in P4. Zelensky, I believe, still owes us a Joker lap. Indeed, he does.
So your top three again will advance to the feature, of course, for the consolation races here today at Lucas Oil Raceway. That's dependent on entrance each round. Zelensky clipped the wall there, Randy, towards the end of the lap, heading to the hairpin. So he looks very scruffy today, Bobby Zelensky. Not the Bobby we normally used to see at the ages.
Yeah, and he's not having the sort of night that he would really like. I mean, it's important to keep in mind a number of these drivers in this series are fighting for other world championships. So their focus might be somewhat focused elsewhere. Bobby Zelensky, of course, in the playoffs for that NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing series, probably putting in a lot of time and energy there. Didn't really pan out for him at Darlington, unfortunately. And, of course, Mitchell DeYoung doing both in the World Championship Grand Prix Series and the VRS GTR Racing World Championship, where he'll have the finale for that this weekend. So maybe, those drivers that are having to pull double or in some ways triple duty, just a little bit stretched thin considering the importance of some of those races for them at this point of the year.
Yeah, and Zelensky again there at turn 4, clipping the barrier. It's after the jump, the right-hander, and I just don't know. He just doesn't seem his best. Like we said, probably focus in other areas, of course, for Bobby. He's had better races. But we are currently on the penultimate lap of the event. There's Zelensky on screen. Ahead of him is the driver of Garrett Lowe, who should advance in the feature race, along with Shine and Cheplevsky. It's a Fusion Racing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting on a good show, these Fusion Racing guys. They've had relatively decent nights, and, they're all just pretty much line astern here out in front of the field. There's about a second and a half or so between them from car to car. So, nice little comfortable final lap coming up for them as Cheplevsky's going to take the white at the iRacing starter stand. And let's see, actually, did we lose Garrett Lowe? I think something just happened to Garrett, because Zelensky's now cycling to P3.
Yeah, something's gone wrong there. Zelensky on my timing screen is in P3. Garrett Lowe's okay. So Zelensky now...
No, he's not okay because he's dropped 2 positions. He was in third.
So Garrett Lowe there is definitely something's gone wrong, and we'll have a look at a replay soon enough. But Cheplevsky should make his way through into the top 3. And, Cheplevsky should win this feature race in advance. Straight through to the feature race. Shine in second, Zelensky in third. Garrett Lowe hit the tire barrier, and that is why he is down the order. So he will not advance to the feature race. Bobby Zelensky through as well, Randy, and that's a perfect event for him so far because he didn't have the best of races, and he still made his way through to that final feature race.
I wouldn't call it perfect considering he had to get really lucky in order to get in there. So for Bobby Zelensky, he needs to count his lucky stripes because it was Garrett Lowe who's supposed to be there, but finding that tire barrier for the 51 going to put Bobby up into that transfer spot. But we're going to have a quick little warm-up here, and then we got 10-lap feature time coming up.
So warm-up as well. It's been a chaotic event so far. The consolation races, Randy, have shown the importance of the start here. You want the inside line heading into the first couple corners, and to me, that's most critical here. As we talked about early on in the event, is that just trying to get rid of that joker lap into turn 1, lap 1, is so important. But then rejoining as well is something that is very underrated, something we didn't consider as much. The rejoin after the joker, filing into the rest of the drivers who didn't take it, it can cause calamity into the first corner.
I mean, I definitely considered it because I've seen it happen now for about 6 months. It's always a bit of a cluster trying to come off the joker at the start of the race because it is a bottleneck. You go from being able to be, potentially 6 wide down the straightaway here at Lucas Oil, and even through those corners, you can be 3 or 4 wide. So you have to funnel it down to about 2, maybe 3, and trying to do that can often cause calamity because those who are 3 wide up on the top, they don't want to just give that position away, and those who are taking that joker on the first lap, they're going to slot it up the inside if the chance is there. So it's going to have to be a little, you have to have some give and take here at Lucas Oil in order to make anything sort of work out cleanly, especially on that opening lap.
And what's important here, Randy, is that Mitchell will start from the second row from 4th position, but most importantly have the inside line, which is very critical for Mitchell DeYoung here. Probably a benefit instead of starting from 3rd.
It's good. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Mitchell starting where he is. I don't know. He's in the Volkswagen, which we know isn't as good off the line as the Subaru. But we know that outer line up top has been good, and we've seen a couple cars start from 3rd and come away with the race lead at the start of these races. So as the warm-up timer counts down to 0, we're going to get ready to grid up this 10-car, 10-lap feature event.
So ready to go here. 10 laps, as Randy said. 1 joker available to the drivers. for round 7 of the iRacing World Championship Rallycross Series. Joni Heikkinen in first position will start on the inside line. He'll be followed by Josh Fox. The rest of your feature race grid will include Phil Diaz on the outside line of the front row, Mitchell de Jong from 4th, along with the Nexus Esports teammates of Michael Guest and Nathan Lyon. Then it'll be Gesmeyer, Chepelevsky, Julian Shine, and Bobby Zelensky, who received a gift from Garrett Lowe, our round 5 winner, who won't make it through to the feature race. Zelensky will proceed to that final spot in this final 10-lap event. Thanks for joining us as well on RaceSpotTV on the iRacing Esports Network. Hope you're enjoying this event. Ready to go for the final time. We go green from Lucas Oil Raceway. De Jong trying to slice his way into the lead. We don't want to end up in a Nexus Esports sandwich yet again. No way through. Bit of contact as well. De Jong keeps it together, but Heikkinen has been pipped by the driver there of Josh Fox for the lead this race. Josh Fox looking good to take victory for the first time this event. Driver turned around as well. It looks like Phil Diaz was forced off the racetrack as well at the start, but De Jong now has flashed himself all the way down the order.
Yeah, he's dropped a couple spots, unfortunately, but he's been able to joker early, so he'll be able to hopefully reel these guys in. I believe every single car in the head of the field pretty much was able to take that joker on the first lap. Josh Fox is going to cycle out in front of the field. Second place is Michael Guest, Nathan Lyon in third, and Joni Heikkinen. Terrible sequence for him at the start of this race. He goes from first back to fourth, and that car seems broken the way he's tracking up onto the oval right now. Gonna have to take, no, he's not taking the joker. Joni Heikkinen, I think, day is pretty much done here.
Yeah, he'll try and claim as many points as we can. We saw an accident there towards the end of the lap between Zelensky, Diaz, and Chepelevsky. So Chepelevsky, one Fusion Racing teammate in last, another one looking good for victory here today in Josh Fox. Michael Guest still in second along with Nathan Lyon. So this top 3 we're seeing right now, Randy, depending on how Mitchell de Jong finishes this race, Josh Fox we always tip to take victory for at least one round this season. And Guest and Lyon have been 2 of the super consistent drivers all campaign.
They definitely have been, and this will be a good night for them if they can hold on to P2 and P3. The question's going to be, though, is what kind of superhuman pace does Mitchell de Jong have behind? Looking at the lap times as they cycled through, there's a 40.4 for Mitchell that last trip around the racetrack, and both of the Nexus Esports cars were faster, and Josh Fox was about 6 or 7 tenths up on Mitchell de Jong. So Mitchell not quite having that ultimate pace we're used to seeing him have. Of course, didn't qualify at the head of the field, qualified P4, I believe. So things going not the way that the driver from Temecula, California would really want, but he's got 2 targets in front of him, and he might be able to reel it in. And a little bit of contact through the hairpin means that I believe that's going to be slow up along the wall.
Gesmeyer. Yeah, so Gesmeyer went straight into Joni Heikkinen to add salt to the wound for his day, and then Gesmeyer just reversed out onto the apex as well. I'm not sure what was going through his mind in that situation, but could have caused more chaos behind. Gesmeyer not having the best of days. Heikkinen at this stage with the damage he has, I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes at least 9th, because the train all the way down to Phil Diaz is reeling him in quite quickly. De Jong, though, is incredibly quick, Randy. 7 tenths quicker last lap around than your top 3, and is looking good right now. Well, then your top 2, at least, I should say. Josh Fox is matching his pace, but Mitchell de Jong could look good here for a second position.
He might be, but he has to be able to catch Lyon first. And are the lap times going to be that consistently that much faster? Answer's going to be no, as Nathan Lyon stretches the gap by a second that last time through. Michael Guest and Mitchell Michael Guest was a half-second quicker as well. So it's a bit of a yo-yo effect right now for Mitchell in second and third. He reels them in, then they stretch it out, then he reels them in, then he stretches it out. Meanwhile, the 2 teammates, they're going to fight it out, and Nathan Lyon wants that second spot, and he takes it from Michael Guest, and they head up onto the oval.
I'm not sure if they felt that Nathan Lyon was the quicker of the 2. It seemed like Guest just let him through, but regardless of that, 1 position change. One driver's dropped a spot there, and Mitchell de Jong is catching the 2 at a rapid pace. Lap 6 of 10, as you can see on the top left-hand side of the screen. Josh Fox remains unchallenged for the lead. There are the 2 Nexus Esports drivers again battling Guest and Lyon. Nice. They are not playing nice at this moment, and it has to say that definitely wasn't team orders then, Randy, for sure.
I definitely thought it was. I think they're giving each other a little bit more room than they ordinarily would one of their competitors. They're playing a little nice in that respect as Michael Guest puts it a little bit wide through the hairpin, though. They need to be careful because doing this fighting is going to allow Mitchell de Jong to reel them in, and Mitchell has made his name this year in being aggressive in big points of these World Championship races. We've seen him have some fantastic moves in the World Championship Grand Prix Series. We've seen him have some fantastic moves in the VLR GT Championship as well. Stealing that win at Suzuka through the hairpin comes to mind. So if Mitchell's able to get there, he has the fortitude to slot it down the inside at a sketchy part of the racetrack and potentially make a move work. That said, Julian Shine has slowly reeled in that VRS Twin Sport Volkswagen.
And Shine is looking good for a career best result in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. Struggled to make the feature race most of the season, now looking good for potentially a top 4 spot. Trying to make a move on the inside of de Jong, deep on the brakes is the Fusion Racing car driver. Just cannot make his way through, so the Belgian now files himself behind in the 5th position and will form up behind Mitchell de Jong. Behind them, Zelensky looking good in 6th, unchallenged by Joni Heikkinen. Joni Heikkinen still dropping positions. Phil Diaz next. Diaz has Heikkinen next on his list to make a move up the order. So not the best race for Heikkinen, unfortunately. Cheplevsky with a lot of damage too in the last position. That's the back end of the order. But through the first couple of corners here, there is the NX Racing car of Diaz. Just went into that hairpin, Randy. Tried to make a move there on Heikkinen and got it all wrong.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like that's what happened there. Just found his way into that tire bollard that sits right on the apex of that hairpin, and unfortunately it's going to cost quite a bit of time as these drivers continue circulating through. Nathan Lyon has been able to stretch a little bit of a gap over his arch nemesis and teammate Michael Guest here as they run to the hairpin. Doesn't get the hairpin quite right, so Michael might reel him in just a little bit, but Mitchell de Jong, I think he's kind of given up on catching P2 and P3 here, Johnny, as we're coming to the white flag lap of this thing. He just needs to focus on keeping Julian Shine behind him to maximize his points to reel in on Yoni in the championship.
And the 2 Nexus Esports drivers on the final lap take the Joker and get that out of the way. Mitchell de Jong not even close right now to a podium position unless the driver of Guest gets it wrong. Shine should finish in the 5th position, a career best result for him. But all eyes will be on the Fusion Racing car driver of Josh Fox. He's had a brilliant event so far. The 24-year-old from the United States of America. He finished less than 2 seconds off victory at Daytona, and he will win his first ever race of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. What an event from Josh Fox. Round of applause for him. He's driven phenomenally all event. He's had an outstanding qualifying pace. And now for round 7, finally claims that illustrious victory that Fusion Racing team have wanted all campaign in 2018. Lyon and Guest will end up in 2nd and 3rd and round out your podium. The super consistent teammates have been impressive this season as well. There are the results on screen. Mitchell de Jong, our championship leader, still salvages some very important points to extend his championship lead. Julian Shine with a career best result in the 5th position. Bobby Zelensky there gifted a feature race spot by a mistake from Garrett Lowe and ends up in 6th. So great luck, great skill from Bobby Zelensky in the end there. Heikkinen with damage, only salvaged 7th in the end and reduces, well, it doesn't reduce the gap to Mitchell de Jong. De Jong extends that, so not good for Joni Heikkinen's campaign. The Finn struggled this event, seemed to have good pace, but it was about the start there that we spoke about. Had the same bad luck last time round, Randy. The start for Joni Heikkinen at Lucas Oil Raceway looms him.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And for Mitchell de Jong, he's going to be, I think, somewhat kicking himself as well. We don't see the typical pace we see from Mitchell here tonight, and it comes on a night where his championship rival and Joni Heikkinen finishes well down the order. Mitchell had been, as quick as he normally is, maybe comes away with a win or a P2. He could have potentially put the championship on ice right here, right now, but because he comes home P4, I think things are still going to be potentially wide open for the Finnish driver of Heikkinen.
So again, the rest of your order on screen. Gesmeyer in 8th, followed by Phil Diaz and Chepelevsky. Chepelevsky had damage from the start. Just could not drive that car at all. So he'll be disappointed, but also happy that his Fusion Racing team teammate of Josh Fox claimed victory here today. So Incredible race from Josh Fox. We'll speak to your race winner hopefully soon, but he's definitely celebrating with the team right now. And again, Randy, the one notable thing about that event I also want to mention is Mitchell de Jong as well, his start. The Volkswagen, he made the switch this round. It was very weird, this event. I was expecting every Subaru to get off the line well. It seemed to be 50-50 out there for the Volkswagens and Subarus.
Well, it's important to remember the oval segment really has a big bearing on that because of the variable banking. There's a huge advantage actually in being up top that the bottom and middle lines just don't really have. So even though the Volkswagen may typically suffer a little bit, you have ways playing with that banking that can really kind of help it out. I think we're going to see the Subarus likely be better off the line at more of the traditional tracks where basically just a flat run into a braking zone into a corner like pretty much all the rest of them are. But this is sort of one of those weird tracks where, you only have a very, very short burst, maybe 30, 40 yards before you actually get to that oval segment, and you start having to play with throttle control and, really trying to maximize your speed through there as best you can.
So Nathan Lyon in the Nexus Esports car came home in the second position. What an event from him. He's alongside Randolph Cheneth, and I have to say, hopefully a very happy Nathan Lyon. Super consistent race.
Yeah, Nathan, congratulations to you. When we were doing the old dirt night, you were the only driver who took a heat race victory away from Mitchell de Jong for the races that he turned up for. Now you end up with a strong second-place finish here, fighting with your teammate Michael Guest. Didn't seem like there was any love lost between you two during your fight. How was the race for you between you and Michael?
It was good. It was a ton of fun. He raced me really clean. He let me by to try and see if I could get Josh, and the next lap I ended up going into a corner a little bit wide, and it was really slick, so I almost spun out and lost all my time. But overall, it was really fun.
Now, talking about this race, a lot of the big names either underperformed or had drama tonight. Mitchell, of course, finishing in P4. Joni Heikkinen got himself into trouble. How much does it mean for you guys from Nexus Esports, really being one of the smaller groups? You're mostly an oval group, but you and Michael, I know, concentrate heavily on the oval side of things. How much does it mean to come home and taking 2 steps to the podium away from all these guys, some of which specialize in the Rallycross stuff as a whole?
Yeah, that's awesome to have 2 Nexus cars on the podium positions. It sucks that Bobby didn't have luck go his way, and Klimpet got wrecked out of his C or B main or whatever he was. And I wish that he could have made the feature, and Bobby could have been a little bit had a little bit more luck, so he could have finished better. He definitely deserved it with how fast he was.
Well, thanks for joining us, Nathan. Congratulations to the both of you, but you especially coming home with P2. I know you'll hold that over Michael's head just a little bit. Before we let you go, who gets it done for you guys at Nexus?
Justin Rowden at Rowden Graphics for paying me the awesome car that I'm able to use. My teammate Guest raced me clean, hard. It was a ton of fun. And you guys for doing the broadcast. I keep always forgetting to mention you guys, but I got you guys this time. And iRacing for putting on the Rallycross series. It's a ton of fun.
Thank you very much, Nathan, for that. Congratulations once again on the P2, and good luck at Sonoma.
Thank you.
Well, you stood by with the winner of Josh Fox here, Johnny, and I think he's going to be pretty excited with this one.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Fox, first career victory in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. Josh, I have to say, qualifying matched Joni Heikkinen's pace. Incredible lap times. You finished 2 seconds off victory at Daytona. Finally, race victory. This must be the best feeling in the world right now.
Man, thanks, Jonathan, Randy. Appreciate that, guys. Man, this is huge for our whole team. Unbelievable night. Really fortunate things went the right way in the heat race, and I think the middle lane for the first turn off the line was the perfect place to be. And after that, just tried to run smooth as possible. But man, this is huge. This is really huge. What a way to start off the second half of the championship. And I think tonight showed too that pretty much anything can happen here with any of these top contenders. So don't ride this championship off to just those top 2 drivers yet. I think there's some other people in the mix.
And one of those in the mix is your teammate Stelian Cheplevsky, who has incredible pace as well, but just didn't have the luckiest of races this time around. He's someone who you'll be hoping to, you'll be celebrating victory, and I'm sure he'll be unselfish enough to join you too. He's probably quite disappointed from this event, I assume.
Well, he may be, and I wish he could have joined us in the top 5. Heck of a run from Julian tonight. Really glad to see him finally get a result, but he's happy. The whole team's happy. Really great night for the team here, man. We're all fired up, and this is huge for the rest of the year.
And finally, before we let you go, who do you want to thank from Fusion Racing and the crew for your first career victory?
Yeah, the crew, gotta thank them. Fusion Racing, they're the best. Terry Rennert for the paint. Joe Naughton bringing us all together, managing us. Heck of a group we got over there. Really excited for the rest of the year, and thanks to you guys too.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Fox, happy for him. First career victory, and maybe more to come, Randy. For the rest of this event, you're going to be standing alongside Michael Guest, who came home in 3rd.
Yep, I'm going to be stood by with Michael here. Michael, already talked to your teammate who finished in 2nd this evening. You end up just behind him, which I know there's probably a little bit of a sibling rivalry going on. You're probably not going to be happy being the loser between the two of you, but P3 for both of you, you have to be as excited as Nathan.
Oh yeah, for sure, especially this being my home track. I live this is definitely the closest track to me. And yeah, the race went really well. I knew I wanted to beat Nathan, but at the same time, I had pretty equal speed with Josh at the beginning of the race, so I knew with Nathan coming, our best chance to have a shot at a Nexus victory is to let him by the first time. And then, yeah, after that mishap by him, we had a pretty good race, and I ended up hitting the wall and then back by, so.
Now, coming through into the later stages of the championship, of course, next round we have coming up is going to be at Sonoma. You guys are about mid-pack, the both of you. Nathan, a couple spots ahead of you in 10th. You're in 13th. Do you guys think you can get yourselves up a little bit of ways before we get to the end of the championship? I know the first season wasn't too great for the both of you. You each would kind of have, one of you would have a good race and the other one would have a bad one. You'd kind of swap it back and forth. Occasionally, both of you would have really bad nights. Think you can maybe up that consistency a little bit as we get to the tail end of the season, or you think you might just, might pretty much just keep up the way it has been until we get to that final round?
Well, the hope is that we're more consistent. Of course, we've had a lot of bad luck in getting wrecked in the first corner and stuff, so hopefully throughout the rest of the season we can improve our points position and keep our pro license for the next series.
Well, we've already asked your teammate, Mr. Nathan Lyon, about who gets it done for you guys at Nexus Esports, so I'm going to take a page out of the LSR TV book and ask you a different question. What is your favorite sandwich?
Oh, man. Can you ask me some pizza questions?
Does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Oh, no.
Okay, you're safe to be interviewed here at RaceSpotTV. But thanks for joining us, Michael. Congratulations on the podium. Good luck to you guys out at Sonoma.
All right, thank you.
There he is, Johnny. He has a very respectable opinion on pineapples on pizza, and he's a very happy man rounding out the podium.
He's a respectable man now. No pineapples on pizza. That's what we like to hear at RaceSpotTV. So next event will be... Oh, first of all, actually, thanks for everybody for bearing through the technical issues today. It was quite chaotic on track, but off track too. It was... It was quite chaotic for us too behind the scenes, so thanks for that, of course. There were your final results on screen as well. Josh Fox, victor for the first time in his career. But this is it. We're wrapped up for round 7 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series. The next event will be on the 13th of September. That's only 2 weeks away, so 1 fortnight until we head to the beautiful Sonoma Raceway, one of the most beautiful racetracks out there in iRacing in the Rallycross circuits. Which hosts round 8 of the World Championship. Coverage will begin at 1 a.m. GMT. That's 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. That, of course, will be on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on the iRacing Esports Network. Thank you again for all you lovely viewers for joining us for today's broadcast. I'm Jonathan Simon alongside Randolph Cheneth and Hugo Luis. You saw everybody else on screen there for their contributions. Isfan Ballo, Andreas Werner, Simon Grossman, and Nick Thiessen for all their hard work behind the scenes in production, making this broadcast what it is today. This has been a RaceSpotTV presentation broadcasted on the iRacing Esports Network. We say so long from Lucas Oil Raceway.